Chapter 11 Black Hand Actually Save People. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Anakta Falls, Link led the trio of fully armed living treasures and tore to the waterfall. With the green beard gloves, Link basically doesn't need to worry about money. The tactical clothing and electric lightsaber are all fully loaded, at least in terms of look and feel. It is much more powerful. It is a pity that their intelligence cannot be improved with money. Speaking of which, boss, why did you come here looking for a charm dressed like this? The three living treasures looked at Link, who was wearing a black robe and a mask, with curious expressions on their faces. Because I want to be a good person, I can't use my identity when I do bad things. Link replied confidently. As for why he doesn't use the transformation technique to disguise himself, the main reason is that he still has a 1.5 times speed magic. This is a training method developed by Link. Keeping his body in an accelerated state for a long time can help Link better adapt to the acceleration of speed magic. The price is that Link's mana is consumed all the time, causing him to use other magic sparingly to avoid running out of mana. True, give me the spell tracker. Okay boss. True slowly took out the spell tracker with 4 dragon heads from his overalls and handed it to Link. Link took the tracker. The next moment, one of the dragon heads on the spell tracker lit up, pointing to a cave in the waterfall. It seems that the Holy Lord's power has recovered well, and the breath of the spell can be sensed from such a distance. Let's go. Now that he had confirmed which cave entrance the snake talisman was at, Link immediately walked into the cave with the living treasure trio and True. Not long after Link and others entered the cave, a man with a big nose also came under the waterfall. After careful observation, he entered another branch. After about another minute, a petite figure saw that the big-nosed man had gone off the road, and then followed him quietly. Inside the cave. Boss, can you get lost even with a spell tracker? Reizu asked with confusion as he looked at the black hand mark made 10 minutes ago in front of him. The boss obviously had a spell tracker in his hand, but they walked into the cave for more than 10 minutes, and they were still running in circles. Ahem, if it weren't for the fear of collapse, I would have used laser eyes to open the way. That's good, you can use the spell tracker to investigate. Link coughed a few times and decisively ignored Reizu. Reizu still wanted to speak, but he was pulled by Afan on the side. The first rule of the Black Hand, never question the boss. Zhou took the spell tracker from Link and said, sorry boss, it's our problem. Then keep going down. Yes. Just as Link was changing people, at the other end of the cave, the girl was looking around with a flashlight. Suddenly a pair of big hands patted her shoulder. Ah, the Black Hand gang. The girl reacted instantly and accurately hit the man behind her in the crotch with an extremely standard roundhouse kick. Ah, what are you doing, Xiaoyu? Uncle Long. How could it be you? Looking at Chen Long who was curled up, Xiaoyu blinked and said innocently, sorry, Uncle Long. I thought he was from the Black Hand gang. Oh, it hurts. Xiaoyu, who taught you to attack this part of a man? Well, I taught myself. Xiaoyu's eyes were a little erratic and she responded perfunctorily. In fact, she saw this move from the basic physical training of the Navy given to her by Link. Although most of this book Basic Physical Training of the Navy teaches how to better develop your body, it also contains some simple and practical combat tips. Uncle Long, are you feeling better? Xiaoyu asked with concern. She had read in the book that if a man was hit hard, he would lose his fighting power for a long time. Fortunately, Chen Long was not an ordinary person. He almost recovered after just resting for a few minutes. It's okay, it doesn't hurt that much anymore. Chen Longgang wanted to educate Xiaoyu, but Xiaoyu interrupted him in advance. Uncle Long, look at this picture. Xiaoyu pointed to the mural on the stone wall. Chen Long frowned when he saw the mural. Based on his many years of tomb robbing and archaeological experience, there seemed to be something wrong with this mural. There are gaps around the mural, as if it were a button. Bang! Chen Long stepped forward and touched the mural. The moment his hand touched the mural on the stone wall dented. At the same time, the entire cave began to shake violently. The stone wall slowly sank, and a dark new hole appeared in front of them. Wow, the cave is open. Xiaoyu's eyes lit up. The two walked in with flashlights and discovered that this place turned out to be an abandoned temple. There are also some ancient texts engraved on the walls of the temple. This place is a place where demons are sealed. Outsiders, please leave quickly, otherwise the guards of the temple will devour you. Qianlong was looking at the words on the wall. Xiaoyu, with sharp eyes, looked around and instantly discovered the snake charm on the dome. Uncle Long, look at snake eyes. Don't worry, it's not a real snake. You stay here and wait for me. Qianlong took a deep breath and grabbed the green vine to climb up. However, the moment he grabbed the vine, there was a hissing sound all around. The vines slowly raised their heads. These were not vines, but snakes. Ah! Tough luck! Tough luck! Tough luck! Qianlong shouted, grabbing the tail of the green snake and swinging it all the way to the dome, and then took off the snake charm. Call! After getting the talisman, Qianlong finally breathed a sigh of relief. However, what he didn't expect was that the moment he took off the charm, the temple floor collapsed. Xiaoyu didn't have time to react, she just felt a light tap on her foot and fell into a big pit with a pop. Xiaoyu! Qianlong saw Xiaoyu falling and jumped down quickly. Are you okay? I'm fine, but there's another big guy here. Xiaoyu pointed behind Qianlong. Qianlong turned his head and saw a giant green snake with a body length of more than 20 meters suddenly appeared behind him. Its mouth is almost the size of an adult. This is the temple guard. Qianlong thought of the ancient writings on the wall just now. If he guessed correctly, this giant snake should be a guard whose protective charm would not be taken away. Hiss. Seeing the snake charm in Qianlong's hand, the giant snake raised its whole body. The next moment, he rushed towards Qianlong. Tough luck! Tough luck! Tough luck! Qianlong held the talisman and used the surrounding stone pillars to move around to avoid attacks. However, the dexterity of this giant snake is not weaker than that of Qianlong. After chasing each other for a while, the giant snake successfully threw Qianlong to the ground and then bit him. Uncle Long! Seeing that Qianlong was in danger, Xiaoyu desperately jumped on the giant snake and beat it with her fists to try to stop it from attacking Qianlong. But she only hindered him for a moment, and then was thrown away. Moreover, the giant snake's eyes fell on Xiaoyu, and it instantly changed its target and pounced towards Xiaoyu. No! Xiaoyu! Qianlong wanted to stop the giant snake, but the distance between him and Xiaoyu was too far. Seeing Xiaoyu about to be swallowed by the giant snake, a trace of despair flashed in Qianlong's eyes. If he had known this, he would never have brought Xiaoyu here. The beast is looking for death. Just when the giant snake's fangs were about to touch Xiaoyu, a cold voice sounded from the side. As soon as he finished speaking, a laser beam instantly fell on the giant snake, scorching its scales. The severe pain made the giant snake unable to control Xiaoyu for the time being. Immediately afterwards, Qianlong saw the trio of living treasures, True and a mysterious man in black robes appearing in front of him. It can be seen that they were the ones who rescued Xiaoyu just now. The Black Hand can actually save people. Chapter 12, Obtaining the Snake Talisman. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Are you guys okay? Link, who was wearing a black robe, helped Xiaoyu up from the ground. Thank you, Black Hand. Qianlong quickly ran to Xiaoyu's side. After confirming that the other party had not been harmed in any way, he thanked the gangsters with great gratitude. Hearing Qianlong's thanks, Leisu blushed and touched his head. It's all thanks to the boss. No need to thank you, just hand over the snake charm. Toru, who was on the side, walked to Qianlong with a fierce look on his face. He was about to take action but was stopped by Link again. Don't rush to grab the talisman yet. Just keep an eye on them and I'll go talk to the giant snake. After saying that, Link jumped up, and a golden light flashed in his eyes again. Hiss! Faced with the threat of Link's laser eyes, the giant snake still did not flinch, but continued to rush towards Link. It seems I'm not proud enough. Link thought to himself. The next moment, a laser shot out of his eyes. This time the power of his laser eyes was even more amazing. Just one blow pierced the giant snake's tail, leaving a hollow wound. Oh my god, this guy can also shoot laser eyes, Xiaoyu on the side exclaimed. At first she thought the laser that saved her was fired from some kind of weapon. After all, she had seen similar new weapons like this in District 13, so it was natural for her to think that Black Hand also had such weapons. As a result, she is now told that this attack was actually released by humans. Laser eyes. Could it be that Black Hand has obtained the rest of the talismans in advance? Is this the ability of the other talismans? Qianlong couldn't believe it, but he felt vaguely in his heart that it was true. After some popular science from his father, he now understands the importance of spells. He didn't know how many spells Black Hand had now, but there is no doubt that he will never allow any more spells to fall into the hands of evil hands. Xiaoyu, run! Qianlong didn't dare to face Link, a ruthless man who could kill a giant snake dozens of meters tall. Once the opponent frees his hands, he will definitely escape, so, he held the snake charm tightly, pulled up Xiaoyu, and tried to escape quickly while Link had no time to deal with them. Qianlong, where do you want to go? Before Qianlong could run away, True seemed to have predicted it in advance, and his huge body had already blocked Qianlong's only way to escape. However, before he could be happy for a long time, he saw the green light of the snake charm flashing. The figures of Qianlong and Xiaoyu disappeared from the spot, leaving Toru standing there looking confused. Qianlong! Qianlong! True looked around, seeing this scene. Qianlong, who didn't know what happened, was also confused. Is Toru blind? Or was Toru trying to trick him? Wouldn't he just stand in front of the other party? Uncle Long, it's not that True is blind, it's that we are invisible. At this time, the clever Xiaoyu was the first to figure out the situation. She pointed at the puddle on the ground. The reflection that was supposed to appear on the puddle had completely disappeared. Xiaoyu guessed that it was because they accidentally used the power of the snake charm. Let's go. Qianlong picked up Xiaoyu and ran outside. No matter what happened, the situation at the moment is to run first and then talk. Do you want to continue fighting? Let me explain in advance that my patience is limited. Now I only give you two choices, surrender or die. Link said to the giant snake with an indifferent expression. The reason why it was spared in the first place was because of its outstanding combat power and extraordinary intelligence, but now that Qianlong has escaped, if he delays it any longer, he might be able to escape and bring the snake charm back to District 13. He doesn't have that much time to wait for the giant snake to change its mind. Hiss! Facing Link's ultimatum, the giant snake's eyes were full of fear. The laser just now had already made it smell the smell of death. It has great wisdom and naturally understands that if it does not choose to surrender, the outcome waiting for it is death. As a living thing, survival is its instinct. Even the Holy Lord was willing to help his father, his mortal enemies, to deal with his son, the demon Xiaolong, in order to recover his body and survive better. It doesn't seem strange that the giant snake chose to surrender, but the moment the laser eyes grazed its scalp, the giant snake decisively chose to lower its proud head and surrender to Link. Uncle Long, we have been running for so long, Black Hand shouldn't be able to catch up, right? Why don't you take a rest? Xiaoyu asked looking at the panting Qianlong. No, this snake charm must not be obtained by Black Hands. We have to go back as quickly as possible and place it in District 13. While Qianlong was talking, a gust of wind suddenly passed by. Qianlong seemed to feel something and turned his head suddenly, only to see a pair of golden eyes under the black robe looking at him. Mr. Qianlong, where are you going? Qianlong's pupils shrank, obviously not expecting the current situation. Ah. Can you see me? Mr. Qianlong, you are just invisible, but you have not completely disappeared. No spell can escape the tracking of this thing. Link laughed, took out the spell tracker from his arms, and slowly pointed the dragon head to where Qianlong was. If Link were asked to choose the strongest spell, it would be hard for Link to choose. The mouse spell that turns stillness into movement, the dragon spell with infinite power, and the dog spell that is immune to death are all extremely powerful, but if Link is asked to choose the weakest spell, he will choose the snake spell without hesitation. The ability of this spell can only make people invisible. Its own breath cannot be concealed, and there is no way to block the perception of magic. The way to use it is very narrow, and its ability is obviously inferior to that of other spells. Do you want to give me the spell yourself, or do you want me to do it myself? Link asked Qianlong with a relaxed look. In fact, he has already sensed that the righteousness around him is constantly pouring into Xiaoyu's body. Once he takes it by force, he is more likely to be harmed by the righteousness. The rules of this world are so shameless. If you can't beat them, you can cheat. Even if you have the upper hand, you won't give up. Bad review. The spell is for you. Qianlong gritted his teeth, and after a moment of silence, he still threw the snake spell in his hand to Link. The strength of the mysterious man in front of him is too strong. Even the giant snake is not his opponent, let alone him. What's more, Xiaoyu is still beside him. What if he attacks Xiaoyu? A wise choice. Link smiled slightly. Just when Qianlong made the decision to give in, the positive energy around him stopped flowing into his body. Since his goal had been achieved, there was no need for him to continue wasting time here. He turned around and planned to leave. At this moment, Qianlong suddenly called him, "Mafia friend, I know you just want to make money, but do you know what will happen if you give the talisman to the Holy Lord?" As soon as these words came out, Link stopped immediately. He turned his head and said to Qianlong, "Mr. Qianlong, perhaps you are the one who hinders the arrival of peace. It won't be long before I will bring eternal peace. Look forward to seeing you next time, both of you." Link waved to the two of them, and then disappeared from the spot. I beg for free recommendation tickets and follow-up reading. Chapter 13, Pirate Link's Journey to Win Without Any Effort. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Beautiful country, Black Hand Building. Great Link. You are indeed my apprentice. I knew I was right about you. The Holy Master in the room looked at the snake and dragon talismans in Link's hand, and his mouth was about to drool. It never expected that under the leadership of Link, the collection of mafia spells would go so smoothly. He asked Wolong's ancestors to collect a single talisman that had not been successfully collected for 900 years. In just half a month, he actually collected 2 more talismans. Now it is a little confused whether to turn this brat into its servant after its resurrection. After all, this kid did make a lot of contributions to his resurrection. Master Holy Lord, don't try to refuse the black magic encyclopedia you promised. Otherwise, I won't give you the spell. That while the Holy Master was thinking, Link held the talisman in his hand vigilantly. Of course I haven't forgotten it. I asked the Black Shadow Ninja to take it out of my library a long time ago. Seeing Link's virtue, the Holy Master had a trace of disgust in his eyes, and the trace of sympathy that had finally arisen disappeared instantly without a trace. This greedy brat must be punished in the future. This is the complete collection of black magic that I promised you. I also give you the magic training corresponding to the 2 talismans of Snake and Dragon. Although he scolded Link, a greedy brat, in his heart, the Holy Lord still maintained the appearance of everyone being a family and gave him what he promised Link. After receiving the Encyclopedia of Dark Arts, Link did not forget to check it. It was confirmed that it was Terra's big face, and the Holy Lord did not fool him. Ha ha ha, Master Holy Lord, you have a good rest, and I will go back and study black magic first, and try to help you lift the seal as soon as possible. Now that he has obtained the Encyclopedia of Black Magic, there is no need for him to stay here any longer. Ever since, Link found a reason and left directly, arriving at a hotel owned by Black Hand. It was getting late today, so Link put on his pajamas for the first time in a long time and lay calmly on the soft bed. If it were before, he would never dare to fall asleep like this. But now his strength is not what it used to be. Naturally, he doesn't have to hide and worry like before. He can calm down and enjoy his sleep. In his sleep, Link's spiritual consciousness returned to the palace along with the gray fog. When he opened his eyes, in addition to the familiar trio of pirates, Full-Time Hunter, and Hokage Link, he saw a spherical creature. What is this guy? Don't look at me like that, I understand what you mean. Come here and give me a fist bump and I'll understand. The spherical creature sighed. After listening, the 4 people came over and fist bumped with each other, sharing memories again. After a while, Qianlong Adventure Link stared at the latter in great surprise. It turns out that this spherical creature Link is actually a rolling ballmon from the Digimon world. So you can evolve into a celestial beast? Link, the Full-Time Hunter, also asked with a surprised look on his face. Please, the evolutionary route is different. Link, the rolling ball beast, said angrily, do you think it's possible? Everyone is Link, and Link, the rolling ball beast, naturally knows what Link, the Full-Time Hunter, is thinking. Even if he really had the chance to become a celestial beast, he wouldn't change it. To prevent other links from saying, "Brother, you smell so good," and then rushing over to take advantage of him, hearing the words of Rolling Ball Beast Link, Naruto Link smiled awkwardly and suppressed the words he just wanted to say, so, he quickly changed the topic and said. "Anyway, Link came back and got us a lot of good things this time. Not to mention all kinds of magic, my current chakra level alone is enough to make me an elite jounin. The number one in the ninja school is definitely not Kakashi." Pirate Link smiled mysteriously at this moment. Good brothers, don't bother checking Link's memories in Chunlong's adventures. Could it be that you don't want to take a look at the good things I brought you? Hearing Pirate Link's words, the other Links present were a little confused at first, and then after rummaging through their memories, they all showed expressions of surprise. Hockey training manual. Are you sure we can practice domineering in other worlds? Naruto Link asked with some confusion. It should be no problem. After our Link's physiques are superimposed on each other, although some of the combat power will be suppressed due to the different rules of the world, we can still possess some of the unique talents of the other Links. The adventures of Chunlong Link said slowly, in his own world, he had tried to imitate the three-body technique of Naruto's world. Although the effect is a little more obscure and difficult to use than what Naruto Link himself used, and it consumes more energy than using chakra, it can still be used. It can be seen that even in a different world, abilities can still be displayed. It is a matter of conversion efficiency. The harvest this time is not small. Link, a full-time hunter, said with a smile. The Hokage Link on the side glanced at the full-time hunter Link and said, "I hope you can share something useful with us next time." Pirate Link smiled and said, "Okay, my training speed has been increased 5 times, and I also need a bicycle. Let's not talk anymore. I have already caught the first head of Luffy. I have to get up early to accept the commendation ceremony tomorrow, so I say goodbye first. Then let's all go back. I hope everyone can be safe and bring back good things to share with the brothers. Okay, see you next time." With a wave of farewell, Link and his friends soon returned to their respective worlds, in the pirate world, a branch in the East China Sea. Congratulations to Link for successfully capturing the traitor Axe Monka and being promoted to colonel. I hope you can continue to work hard and make more contributions to justice. Thank you, sir, I will work hard. Looking at Link receiving the reward on the stage, the other Navy officers in the audience were envious and jealous, because Link's achievement should actually belong to a pirate group called Straw Hat Boy. If Link had captured Axe Monka with his own ability, they would not be so jealous, but Link, this kid, happened to miss the credit of a pirate, which made them unacceptable. Why is Link so lucky? The monthly salary of a colonel is twice ours. I'm so envious. He actually relied on a pirate to gain credit. What a shameless boy. The Navy in the audience was talking about it, but Link on the stage didn't care about their comments at all. These guys don't understand the true meaning of winning by doing nothing. In the pirate world, although the Navy is a good profession, the higher the rank, the better the treatment, but at the same time, you may also face harassment from the celestial dragons. The higher the position and the stronger the Navy, the more likely it is to receive the task of protecting the celestial dragons, and it is easy to be disgusted. And he followed Luffy to pick up credit. Not only can he improve his rank, but also enjoy better treatment. Those guys in the Navy headquarters also know what his real strength is like. Even if he has a high position, he doesn't need to perform the task of accompanying the celestial dragons as a bodyguard. The treatment is increased, and there is no need to take responsibility. How can you get such a good thing by other ways of promotion? Chapter 14. Don't thank me, I picked up the Bucky bullet you dropped for you. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The sea breeze blows and white gulls break through the waves. Just after receiving the award, Link rushed to Orange Town, the island occupied by Bucky the Clown. He had no choice, and he didn't want to be so busy. After all, he had to take over the defeated clown Bucky and his gang in the first place to be considered as meritorious. If you don't hurry up, you may not even get a hot bite. Logically speaking, as an intern of the Roger Pirates, Bucky the Clown should be quite famous in the Navy, but in fact, the government only offered a reward of 15 million belly. I really can't understand it. Link looked at Bucky the Clown's bounty and muttered to himself, in fact, he has always been a little surprised by the price of Bucky the Clown's bounty. After all, as a former crew member on the Pirate King's ship, Bucky the Clown is naturally likely to know the truth about Ralph Drew, but the bounty given to him by the world government is just to treat him as an ordinary pirate, and to reward him according to his strength. You must know that the bounty issued by the bounty order is sometimes not based on strength, but on the degree of threat to the world government. I think Robin, who was so helpless back then, could have offered a bounty of 79 million. Then Bucky the Clown, who has the potential to learn the truth about Ralph Drew and is also the red-haired best friend of the four emperors, shouldn't be asking for a reward of 50 million, right? However, the fact is that the world government seems not to notice him and allows him to run around, not to mention offering a reward, or even sending people to keep an eye on him. I guess the people in the world government really didn't investigate Bucky's details carefully. It could also be that Bucky's overbearing luck is at work, secretly allowing himself to develop in a favorable direction. Link thought with an evil smile. However, since it is one of the achievements that will fall into my hands, Bucky's identity must be exposed. The warships equipped by the Navy are faster than ordinary pirate ships and merchant ships. They set off from Branch 153 in the morning and arrived at Orangetown at noon. Colonel, we have arrived at our destination. I need to remind you that this place is now the territory of Bucky the Clown. That guy is a devil fruit user and is very difficult to mess with. Please be careful. A Marine from Branch 153 under Link hesitated for a moment, but finally stepped forward to remind him. After Link was promoted to Colonel, he managed Branch 153, which was the naval branch where Monka the Great Axe was. A considerable number of conscientious sailors in Branch 153 could not stand what Monka did, but limited by their status and strength, they were unable to resist, and just today Link took over this branch. The first thing he did after taking office was to make up for the original Shields Town residents as much as possible. The second thing was to come over to attack Bucky the Clown, which made these Marines whose blood had not yet cooled down realize that their new boss was not the bastard before. Although they all knew that Link was able to capture Monka because he was taking advantage of the Straw Hat Pirates, they were still willing to believe and follow Link, and began to worry about Link's safety. Don't worry, no matter how powerful the clown Bucky is, as a just Marine, I will definitely bring him to justice, Link said with mock indignation. In fact, he is not afraid of Bucky the Clown. Just after sharing the rest of Link's abilities and energy last night, the armament color and knowledge color hockey in his body had completed their preliminary awakening. At the same time, Link also learned all 6 Navy styles overnight with his 5 times shared talent. Not to mention its combat power in this barren East China Sea. Even if it is placed in the first half of the Great Shipping Route, it can be regarded as one of the top batch. Only the monsters in the New World can bring him any threat. With Bucky's strength in the original work, he really can't threaten Link. Unless Bucky the Clown really hides himself like some fan fiction, I basically won't encounter any threats. Link muttered to himself, bid farewell to the sailors, and slowly set foot on Orangetown. At the same time, a high-rise building in Orangetown, a group of pirates who looked like circus clowns were surrounding an orange-haired girl and brought her in front of a cannon. Young ladies, let her see the power of our special Bucky bullets. Among the pirates, a man with a red nose and a skull painted on his face was laughing wildly. Wow! Boss is so powerful. With this Bucky bomb, our pirate group will be the most powerful pirate group in the East China Sea. Even if the dragon pirates come, they are no match for us. All the pirates cheered loudly. Haha, Nami, since you plan to join our Bucky pirates, let me show you the power of this Bucky bullet. Bucky the Clown glanced at the orange-haired girl next to him with disdain. The other party not only brought the former captain to him, but also wanted to join his pirate group. Although Bucky the Clown has seemingly agreed to the girl's joining, in fact he has included her on his death list in his heart. This is because Nami's behavior is actually a taboo for pirates. The so-called pirates themselves are a group of lawless and daring people. They will do almost anything as long as it is profitable. The bottom line can be said to be infinitely low. The same can be said for Bucky the Clown, but even such a lowly and shameless pirate has a bottom line that he must never cross, that is, he must never betray his companions. A guy with a history of betrayal will not be trusted by him. Therefore, when Nami brought the former captain to him, he no longer trusted him. The so-called agreement to the other party to join was just to play with the other party and see the other party's interesting expression. Little ones, load the cannon. Nami, you first learn how to fire the cannon, and then you will use this cannonball to send your former captain to the sky. That watching the pirates under his command put the Buggy bullet into the muzzle and ignite the fuse, a trace of joy flashed across Buggy's face. Next, he couldn't wait to see the horrified expression on Nami's face. Let the sound of the cannon fire be more intense, accompanied by Buggy the Clown's excited shouting. With a bang, the Buggy bullet flew towards the house in Orange Town. Look at me. My special Buggy bullet power. Bucky was laughing wildly, waiting excitedly for the result of the Buggy bullet destroying Orange Town. However, at this moment, a black shadow suddenly passed through the air, and his flying Buggy bullet suddenly disappeared. What's going on? Where's my Buggy bullet? Seeing this scene, Buggy the Clown was shocked and surprised, not knowing what happened. Oh, don't thank me, you just accidentally dropped the Buggy bullet, I helped you pick it up. Just as he was confused, a voice sounded from behind him, and then there was a spherical object in his hand. I beg for free recommendation tickets and follow-up reading, thank you meow. Chapter 15 Buggy the Clown. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Why did I get this thing? Looking at the Buggy bullet in his hand, Bucky's eyes were as big as a copper bowl, and he hurriedly threw it aside into the sea. As the manufacturer, he naturally knew that the power of this Buggy bomb was far greater than the cannonballs used by ordinary pirates and even the Navy. Only a bang sound was heard, and the Buggy bomb exploded with infinite impact in the sea, splashing waves dozens of meters high. Almost died. Bucky the Clown wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. He was just a little bit closer to taking off. His split fruit can only protect against cuts, but not explosions. It was this Navy that almost killed the boss. Why is he here? I just saw him flying over from the air. Maybe he, like the boss, is a devil fruit user. Bucky's pirates drew their weapons and looked at Link warily. In their eyes, Link is as dangerous as a monster. If Bucky the Clown was a godlike existence in their hearts, they might have all fled at this time. Ah, it's the Navy. I don't want to be taken back. Luffy, who was locked in the cage, also looked panicked. Don't worry, you don't have a reward yet, so I won't catch you. Link glanced at Luffy, a little speechless. As an ordinary person who traveled from a peaceful era, Link has the most ordinary views. Let's not talk about guys like Luffy who are called pirates but are actually adventurers. He has no desire to arrest him at all, and even if he really catches him, Grandpa Garp will definitely not let him go to jail. At most, he will force him to stay with him and become a Navy. Do you understand? This is the gold content of the third generation of officials. And this lady, are you not injured? After dealing with Luffy, Link turned to look at the orange-haired girl Nami. Although Nami is young at this moment, her figure is already very proud. Those slender white thighs are so dazzling that it makes people unable to open their eyes. I'm fine, Mr. Navy, please help me. Nami was stunned for a moment, then she looked like a weak girl, and even forced a tear from the corner of her eye. If Link hadn't read the original novel, Nami could have beaten Luffy, who was a rubber man, to the head without resorting to armed hockey. He almost believed it. Hey, what do you mean by the Navy? We're even talking about it. You simply don't take our Bucky pirates seriously. It seems that if we don't let you suffer, you don't know how powerful we are. Seeing that Link ignored them and started chatting directly with Nami, the pirate minions of the Bucky pirates surrounded Link with fierce expressions. Well, the main reason is that there are some problems with the time calculation this time. It seems that there is no way to fish. Members of the Buggy Pirates, your actions of destroying the town have violated the East China Sea Control regulations. I, Link, declare to deprive you of all your powers and arrest you. Please let us go. Link scratched his head. Why have I never heard of any East China Sea Control regulations? You ask me. I'm illiterate and don't read this kind of thing. Even if there is such a regulation, what does it have to do with us pirates? We pirates have always been unruly. There's nothing to say to this evil Navy. Let's take the guys and join them. that the pirate minions spoke to each other and picked up their weapons one after another and rushed toward Link. Link stood there blankly as if he was frightened, let all kinds of strange attacks such as swords, lion's teeth, and flying knives fall on you. Although the picture looks a bit funny, the Bucky pirates are one of the best pirate groups in the East China Sea. These pirates usually live a life of licking blood with their swords, and their moves are full of lethality. All attacks are aimed at Link's vital parts. It's a pity that pure courage cannot make up for the gap in their strength. Link didn't even use his armored haki, relying only on the iron blocks in his 6 moves to withstand all the attacks from the pirate minions. Even the repulsive force of the iron block caused many pirates' swords to curl up. Just after the Bucky pirates' minions finished their attack, Link raised his head leisurely. This guy is a monster. Seeing that there were no wounds on Link's body, the pirate gangster's eyes became filled with fear. Although it's unclear how Link did it, their attacks really couldn't break through his defenses. "Boss, we can only rely on you, we have tried our best." All the pirates retreated behind Bucky, leaving Bucky confused. Should I fight Link? Real or fake? How about it? Do you want to continue fighting? Or choose to just let it go and trap it yourself? Link took out a pair of sea stone handcuffs from his waist and said slowly. How about we all come together? Bucky's face was dripping with cold sweat, and he didn't look as arrogant as he did when facing Nami. "Boss, all our weapons are useless, even Lion Leaky's teeth are broken." The animal trainer Machi showed an ugly smile. "Boss Buggy, use your invincible ability of the split fruit to think of a solution." "Yeah, boss, didn't you say that even the world's #1 swordsman Hawkeye couldn't take you down? Then it's definitely no problem to deal with a mere ordinary navy now." The pirate minions retreated quietly while cheering for their boss. "You bunch of rubbish." Bucky wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. Unlike the other pirates who had never seen the world, Buggy could naturally see that Link was using the 6 styles of marine physical techniques that clearly exceeded the limits of human physical fitness. He was a good user of the split fruit and could withstand most of the damage, but that didn't mean he wouldn't die. Since the opponent had learned the iron block, it wasn't strange for him to learn to point the gun. In this way, Buggy found it a little embarrassing that he might not be Link's opponent. "What do you think, Buggy? Have you thought about it?" Link approached slowly with handcuffs. In his opinion, a smart person like Buggy the Clown would choose to surrender. After all, he must have seen the Navy's 6 styles as he followed Roger's pirate group, so he naturally understood how big the gap in strength between them was. However, the next moment, Buggy's actions really surprised Link. He suddenly split his body, rushed towards Nami with a knife in both hands, and put the knife on Nami's neck. He held Nami hostage. "Don't move. Otherwise I will kill this little girl." Buggy the Clown showed a crazy smile at the corner of his mouth. "If you don't want this little girl to get hurt, quickly remove the iron block for me and let my men help you tie her up. Otherwise..." Buggy the Clown's long knife slowly approached, leaving a faint trace of blood on Nami's white collarbone. Seeing that Buggy the Clown actually dared to do it, Nami's face turned pale and was full of fear. "What do you think? Are you not convinced?" Seeing the hostage Nami's face full of fear, Buggy the Clown's smile became more and more rampant, but what he didn't notice was that Link's face was as cold as iron at this moment. Chapter 16 Killing Buggy. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Within the Navy, everyone has a different understanding of justice. Akainu's absolute justice, Akiji's lazy justice, and Kizaru's ambiguous justice. And when he traveled to the world of pirates, the reason why Link became a Marine was, this is not just because his parents were martyrs in the Navy, and it was more convenient for him to enter the Navy. It's even more because he has the simplest hope of justice from the peaceful era in his heart to protect the weak and the people. In the beginning, Link didn't actually want to kill Bucky the Clown. For this comic-like character in the original work, Link even had a hint of fondness in his heart. However, at the moment when Bucky kidnapped Nami, Link suddenly realized that there was a real world in front of him. Perhaps the manga of One Piece is a fairy tale adventure story, but the world of One Piece is a cruel world. Maybe the Bucky in the comics is a likable character, but the Bucky standing in front of him now was undoubtedly an evil pirate who had destroyed towns and killed civilians without blinking an eye. "Sorry, I was wrong." Link sighed softly. After hearing Link's words, Bucky thought that the other party was preparing to surrender in exchange for the safety of the hostages. As a result, his wild laughter became louder again. Navy, you're wise. Now give us a few chops honestly. Once I'm in a good mood, I won't be able to let you go. As soon as I finished speaking, suddenly, a black light flashed past Bucky's eyes. Finger gun, Black Tiger takes out the heart. Before Bucky could react, there was a sharp pain in the heart of his chest. He slowly looked at his chest, but saw that the place where his heart should have been stored was now empty. I was wrong. The place you should go to is not prison, but hell. Link's cold voice rang in the ears of all the pirates. The darkness in his eyes was as if in his eyes these pirates were not humans, but beasts dressed in human clothes. This is impossible. Aren't you afraid that I will tear up the vote? Bucky covered the hole in his chest in disbelief. He looked at the young Navy in front of him with disbelief written all over his face. He had obviously already kidnapped someone. As a kind-hearted Navy, shouldn't he surrender? What made him even more reluctant to believe it was that the difference in strength between himself and the other party was really huge. The opponent just killed him instantly with just one move. Looking at Bucky, who was still able to speak even though his heart was destroyed, even Link had to sigh that these guys in the pirate world are really amazingly frank. Bucky is a member of Roger's pirates. Roger wouldn't allow you to do such a thing, right? Do you still remember the agreement you made when you went to sea? Link said with some sigh. In a sense, the Roger pirates are just another Straw Hat pirates. At the very least, Roger's group would not do such things to bully the weak without any reason or grievance. However, Bucky has obviously changed now. What exactly do you want to say? Bucky asked as he coughed up blood and stared at Link. I didn't want to say anything, I just didn't want you to die so comfortably. Link looked at Bucky coldly. Don't you want me to die so comfortably? Then I want to die quickly. Bucky laughed to himself, a trace of imperceptible regret flashing in his eyes. Perhaps he was really approaching death, and countless marquees flashed in his mind, recording his life. Memories that were originally forgotten in the sea of consciousness over time continue to emerge. He deactivated his ability to tear himself apart and wanted to use his own knife to give himself a good time. However, the next moment, Link knocked the knife out of his hand with a wave of his hand. What do you want to do? Sorry, you can't die now. Link smiled awkwardly, and then took out a few pineapples from his pocket. Sorry, you can die now. After seeing the trace of regret flashing in Bucky's eyes, Link still gave him a happy surprise out of humanitarianism, definitely not for shipments that want to split the fruit. I didn't expect that I was actually reborn. Link watched the pineapple in his hand slowly change its appearance. This was the split fruit that completed the rebirth of the devil fruit. Demon. This guy is an absolute monster. He extracted Boss Bucky's abilities. Surrender, we surrender. Master Marine, I just joined the Bucky Pirates. Let alone a human, I have never killed a chicken. You can't kill me. Seeing that the great pirate Bucky, whose captain had a bounty of 15 million, died in the hands of Link, the remaining pirates had fear written on their faces, and they all knelt down and begged for mercy. They are just a group of pirates, so naturally they cannot be Link's opponents, and with the speed Link showed before, even if they ran away separately, they would be easily destroyed by him. It's better to kneel down and beg for mercy. Maybe you can save a dog's life. It was just a few sporadic ones at first, but then it developed into a human wave. In addition, there are quite a few pirates who feel that they are guilty and think that Link will definitely not let them go, so they choose to launch a suicidal charge towards Link. However, their actions were doomed to be in vain. How could these pirates who had never been out of the East China Sea be Link's opponents? Link suddenly flew into the air. Storm kick. Wind blades blasted out, instantly cutting the pirates who wanted to resist in half. Seeing this brutal scene, the pirates who had just kneeled down to beg for mercy were so scared that they almost couldn't hold it. They were afraid that this gentleman would kill them all after killing them. Fortunately, Link stopped attacking after dealing with the pirates who resisted stubbornly. Although he didn't like these pirates, there were indeed some people among them who didn't deserve to die. When they were enemies, when these pirates charged at him, Link would kill them without hesitation. However, when the other party surrendered, Link couldn't do such an anti-human action as slaughtering the captives, even if the other party was an unforgivable pirate. Well, since we can't tell, let the Navy hire a group of hypnotists to ask these pirates what crimes they have committed, and then conduct a trial. Link muttered to himself, and said to the remaining pirates. The remaining pirates put their weapons on the ground, then put their hands on their heads, and come over one by one to put on handcuffs. After hearing this, the remaining pirates breathed a sigh of relief, and hurriedly lined up and handcuffed themselves in an orderly manner. During this period, no pirate dared to play tricks, for fear that they would provoke Link, the god of death. They didn't want to become the dead souls of Link's men. Chapter 17 I, Link, am a good navy. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. After handcuffing all the pirates and taking them back to the Navy ship, Link cut open the cage holding Luffy with a single swing of his leg. Thank you, little brother. You are so awesome, can you teach me those moves? Luffy, who had regained his freedom, gave Link a thumbs up with a silly smile on his face, and then approached Link for guidance. The Luffy at this time is not the Luffy of the future. Although he looks dull and stupid on the surface, in fact, he can be described as a wise man. He saw that Link was not hostile to his identity as a pirate, so he didn't panic too much. At the same time, Luffy actually cares more about Link's strength than Link's attitude. As early as when he was in the cage, he was mentally using Link to show his strength and his own. The comparison results shocked him. Link's strength was far superior to him. Since his dream is to become the Pirate King, one of the necessary conditions is to have enough power. That's why he came to Link for guidance at this moment. Sorry, according to the regulations of the Navy, even if you are the grandson of Vice Admiral Garp, I cannot teach you the 6 styles. Link shook his head, and for you, the fastest way to increase your strength is in battle. In the original work, Luffy is an out-and-out fighting genius, and his talents are very similar to those of the Scions in Dragon Ball. Showing off something that can't kill me will only make me stronger. There was Lucci in the early stage, and Katakuri and Kaido in the later stage. They were all fighting with Luffy, and suddenly something was wrong. No, the other party has a problem. How come this kid doesn't get tired, but gets stronger the more he fights? Is that so? Hearing Link's words of rejection, Luffy's face curled up in frustration. At this moment, a swordsman with green hair and 3 swords on his body hurried over. Ah, Luffy, I'm here to save you. Is he the enemy this time? The green algae-headed swordsman drew his sword and looked at Link warily. Not long ago, Luffy teased the big bird, but he was picked up by the big bird. He had no choice but to row his boat desperately to catch up with Luffy. However, the speed of the big bird was so fast that he couldn't catch up. Fortunately, he met 3 good Samaritans from the Bucky pirates later, and with their help, he was able to follow Luffy to the island. When he first arrived at the island, Sauron saw what seemed to be a battle taking place. After thinking about it for a moment, I felt that it was probably Luffy who was in trouble, so he rushed up there non-stop. I never got lost halfway, and it took me a while to get here. Zoran, this little brother is a good man. Seeing Zoro wanting to fight Link, Luffy quickly stopped him. Link's temper is not very good. If the other party really wants to take him back, it will be troublesome. Yes. This guy is a good person. Nami on the side quickly told what happened just now exactly. After listening to Nami's description, Zoro finally understood what happened. So, you directly destroyed a pirate group with a bounty of 15 million. There was a trace of surprise in Zoro's eyes. As a pirate hunter, he naturally knows how powerful pirates at this price range are. Being able to directly wipe out a pirate group of this level without taking any damage, Link's strength indeed exceeded his imagination. Moreover, judging from the opponent's behavior, this is still a rare good navy. He has been wandering in the East China Sea for a while, and has encountered a lot of navy during this period. It can be said that the first reaction of an ordinary navy when encountering a pirate of this level is not to fight forward, but to decisively turn the ship around and escape. There are not many Marines like Link who dare to fight pirates. In the vast East China Sea, apart from Link in front of him, it seems that only the White Hunter Smoker from Rog Town can do this. Of course, this may also have something to do with strength. After all, there are really not many powerful navies in the East China Sea. So, we can leave now? Zoro blinked in confusion. Probably. As Link was speaking, he suddenly turned his head as if he sensed something. I saw a group of townspeople of different heights, short, fat and thin, armed with wooden sticks, coming to Link menacingly. Don't get me wrong, we and that clown Bucky are not. Seeing this scene, Nami thought these townspeople thought they were the accomplices of Bucky the clown and hurriedly explained. However, she hadn't finished her words yet. These townspeople knelt down with a pop. Some of the small-looking children handed Link their own beef and mutton. Sir, this is the beef and mutton raised by our family. Mom and Dad said thank you for avenging your uncle. A cute little girl wearing coarse cloth said to Link in a sweet voice. Link touched the opponent's head, took the beef and mutton in his hand with a smile, and at the same time took out a stack of Baileys from his arms. Our Navy has regulations and you can't take it for free. The quality of the beef and mutton is good, even if I bought it. After that, Link put the money into the little girl's hand. You just gave her the money like this? Nami on the side showed a trace of confusion in her eyes. Did you know that you just gave her at least twice the price? Of course I know. I used to be responsible for buying food and cooking in the Navy branch. Link responded with a smile. Before Goldfinger even got paid, he was working 2 jobs in the Navy branch. He also goes to town for shopping on weekdays, so he naturally knows the price of beef and mutton. You should also know the character of Bucky the clown. He is very greedy for money and extremely cruel. These townspeople live under his rule, and how much money is left in their hands? Link sighed softly, slowly walked into Bucky's stronghold, and took out another box of treasures. He walked up to the old man who was the leader of the townspeople and asked, "Are you the mayor of this town?" "Yes, my name is Boodle." The old man replied nervously. "Mayor Boodle, right? I see that this town was badly destroyed by Bucky. Take this box of treasures and leave this phone bug with you. If you have any questions in the future, you can call directly. I'll handle it when I have time. If I don't have time, I can arrange for someone to come over. Please note my phone number." Link said his phone bug number. Boodle nodded and quickly wrote down the number. At the same time, Link also gave a phone bug to Luffy and others. If you encounter a dangerous pirate group from now on, just call me directly and I will give you half of the bounty. Link said slowly. The reason why the Straw Hats were given a phone bug was because after this incident, Link found that he still couldn't pick peaches at the best time just by guessing. He has done it himself too many times. What if he is deemed reliable by the Navy and the Celestial Dragons go shopping in the future and ask for his protection? He is a man who wants to become the king of fishing. He not only wants to enjoy power, but also does not want to be responsible. So, he simply gave Luffy a phone bug. In this way, after Luffy solves the problem, he can take the credit on time. Thank you for your follow-up reading and recommendation votes. Thank you, Meow. Chapter 18 Link's Warning. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Thank you so much, Admiral. You are a truly good Admiral. Seeing that Link was willing to share all of Buggy the Clown's treasure with them, Mayor Boodle was so excited that he wanted to continue kneeling on the spot, but he was helped up by Link. It's okay, these are what I, Link, should do. For Link, although Bailey is important, as long as it is enough, it will be fine. Moreover, he has gained something more important this time, that is, he got the split fruit. The ability of the split fruit is to split any part of his body into several small pieces, and it can be combined at will. From the performance of Buggy in the original work, the split fruit does not seem to have much achievement in attack, and it is more manifested in the restraint of swordsmen, but in fact, Link feels that the potential of the split fruit is far less than this, because the fruit can also split objects into pieces, and can also restore them intact. In the original work, when Buggy was chopped by Hawkeye, his clothes were obviously cut into many sections, but they could be reassembled later. It can be seen that the ability of the split fruit can also be used on the outside world. If Buggy in the original work had cultivated the fruit ability to the full extent, then he might be able to cut open other people's bodies and reassemble them at will like Law with the Operation Fruit, and the consumption of physical strength is likely to be lower than that of the Operation Fruit. In this way, the value of the split fruit is obviously not the lowest level of the devil fruit, at least it is at the level of 500 million Baileys. Compared with this devil fruit, Buggy's treasures are just a hair on a bull's body. But no matter what, please be sure to attend our next banquet. Without you, this banquet is incomplete. Butel lowered his head and said. This. Before Link could speak, Luffy on the side yelled, banquet. Banquet. Barbecue. Barbecue. Hearing Luffy's yelling, Link's stomach began to growl. The appetite of humans in the pirate world is not ordinary, and Link shared 4 times the appetite, so it is natural. So, Link nodded and said, then I'll trouble the mayor. Then, he followed the mayor to the banquet and began to eat with an appetite. Are you a good navy? At this moment, Nami held the Den Mushi, with a very complicated expression. Judging from Link's performance, if she asked him to destroy the dragon pirates, Link would choose to agree, but did she really want to drag Link into this muddy water? Nami remembered what Dragon said in her mind, that the power of fishmen is more than 10 times that of humans. She had been in contact with the dragon pirates for a long time, and Dragon's words had long been firmly engraved in her heart like a thought stamp. Even if Link's strength at this moment is also far beyond that of ordinary people, can he be a match for a fishman with 10 times the power? Forget it. Anyway, we will soon get enough money to redeem the village, so there is no need to make trouble. Nami hesitated for a long time, and finally gave up asking Link for help, in order to avoid getting Link involved. What Nami didn't know was that Link had seen her actions. It seems that Nami still can't break the barrier in her heart so easily. Link sighed inwardly while eating. This situation is not surprising. After all, Nami's own strength is very average, and it is normal that she can't tell who is stronger between him and the dragon. From the original work, even Luffy, who has been with him for a long time, still doesn't believe that the other party can defeat the dragon. I'm afraid that in Nami's heart at this moment, the dragon is invincible. In the final analysis, it's still the racist dragon who blows in Nami's ear every day that fishmen are born stronger than humans, and humans resisting fishmen is equivalent to defying the laws of nature. This is what led to Nami's thoughts. Even if I tell her now that fishmen are destined to be slaves in the new world, I'm afraid she will think I'm lying, right? Link sighed softly. Since Nami didn't bring it up, he didn't have a good entry point to participate in it. Besides, this period of time is the period when the dragon collects money, and no one will be killed. It won't be long before Luffy and his friends go over and defeat it, and then I can go and get some credit. Speaking of which, in addition to the dragon pirates, the rat colonel who colluded with the dragon pirates also made a lot of credit. Link thought to himself, in the original work, the rat colonel was also a rat in the navy. Not only did he not dare to provoke the dragon, but he also helped the dragon to make money. In the end, the rat colonel basically had nothing to do. If he reported his affairs truthfully, his credit would probably be further improved, and he would be promoted. High-level navy not only has the opportunity to get good swords and good fruits for free, but also has the opportunity to learn from those powerful navy. Link is not a combat genius like Luffy, not to mention Bonnie, the chosen son of heaven, who can get the bug fruit of the year. He couldn't be like Luffy, who fought a few times in such a short time in Wano country and immediately comprehended the high-level armament Haki Air Sakura, Conqueror Haki Entanglement, and Fruit Awakening. He couldn't intercept Nika's future like Bonnie and transform into Nika's form. God knows why the brain-challenged 5 elders Sartan gave this junk fruit to Bonnie. He is just like a 24-year-old guy in Kamen Rider who likes to create a father. And the only thing Link can rely on is himself to steadily improve his own strength step by step. While Link was thinking, the banquet lasted from noon to dusk. After eating and drinking, Link found that Luffy and others had replenished their supplies and were preparing to set off. By the way, there is one thing I almost forgot, Luffy. Link seemed to have thought of something and suddenly stopped Luffy. Is there anything, Link? Luffy asked. When you meet your brother Ace in the future, no matter what means you use, you can't let him continue to hunt Blackbeard. It's best to let Whitebeard take your brother back. Link instructed. This is also a test for Luffy. In the original work of One Piece, Luffy has saved countless countries and is even more diligent than some navy. If I have to say one thing that was wrong, it was that he broke into Impel Down and released the criminals in order to rescue Ace. If Luffy did it, Link could follow him and get credit later. If he couldn't do it, Link could only reluctantly give up and do it himself. How did you know my brother was Ace? Who is Blackbeard? Why can't he see Blackbeard? Hearing Link's instructions, Luffy was confused. I don't know why Link suddenly said such a thing. Link didn't continue to explain, and there was no way to explain. Could it be that he was going to say that these plots all happened in the comics? Once Ace found Blackbeard, Ace would be defeated by him and eventually taken to Impel Down to be executed, and in order to save Ace, Luffy released the pirates and criminals in Impel Down, causing unrest in the whole world. In the end, Ace died. In response, Link ignored Luffy's question and continued to warn. In short, if you don't want Ace to die, you must remember my words today. If you do anything illegal in the future, don't blame me for being ruthless. Thank you for your follow-up reading, recommendation votes, and monthly votes. Chapter 19 Colonel Mouse, I also want to find a pirate as my black glove. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Navy Branch 153, in a luxurious office, Link was lying comfortably on a recliner, with snacks and juice beside him, and in his hand was a reward message that the Navy had just given him. Looking at the good news in front of him, Link smiled happily. Since he said goodbye to Luffy, the other party has defeated Baiji Crow and Pirate Admiral Click in Scilab Village and Sea Restaurant. As a righteous Navy, Link naturally rushed to the scene as soon as possible after receiving the call, arresting these big pirates and adding 2 more achievements to his list of achievements. Although these 2 contributions were not enough to promote Link to Brigadier General, he estimated that it was almost there. When Luffy wipes out the last dragon pirates, my contribution will be enough to be promoted to Commodore. Link chuckled. The Commodore's salary was much higher than his current salary, and he could also enjoy better resources, for example, Smoker's Seastone weapon. In addition, educational resources should also be guaranteed. He, Link, is not the protagonist. If he wants to learn something, there will be a lot of big guys coming to teach him. He must be promoted to a military rank to have more opportunities. Speaking of which, since his achievements can be related to Luffy, then maybe there is a chance to connect with him. Link was thinking about the possibility of having a relationship with Garp, when suddenly the phone bug on his desk rang. Seeing the phone bug turn into orange hair, Link instantly understood who was looking for him. This is Navy Branch 153. I'm Link. Miss Nami, are there another pirates caught who need my help? The next moment, a crying voice rang from the other end of the phone. Mr. Link, you are being targeted. What? Who is targeting me? Link asked in surprise. Nami would come over and say that she was being targeted, which he didn't expect. The evil dragon is targeting you for some reason. They know that we have a close relationship with you, so they want me to cooperate with them and kill you. I don't want to, but I don't know what to do, so I chose to call you. I see. Link replied that he had finished listening and was thinking silently. It's very strange why the dragon pirates suddenly targeted him. After all, they had no interaction at all before. It makes no sense to suddenly say that you want to kill yourself. Could it be that his investigation into Colonel Mouse was discovered by the other party, so the other party asked the dragon pirates to take action and wanted to silence me? Forget it, I'm too lazy to continue thinking about it. Since the evil dragon came to your door by himself, don't blame me for calling someone. After thinking for a moment, Link slowly opened the phone bug. Ding ding, the call is connected. The next second, the phone bug turned into a figure holding 3 cigarettes. Time goes back to an hour ago. The reward for Link is not only known to Link himself, but also spread throughout the entire East China Sea Navy, Navy Branch 16. Colonel Mouse looked at the internal commendation notice in his hand with envy and jealousy. Despicable Link actually thought of such a method. I'm afraid this guy will be promoted to Brigadier General soon. Colonel Mouse was quite unhappy with the fact that Link often followed a pirate to take credit. Now that he is a colonel, he can earn tens of millions of dollars in oil and water every year. Once he becomes a Brigadier General, I'm afraid he won't be able to earn hundreds of millions of Baileys every year. Moreover, the partner he cooperates with is the strongest dragon pirates in the East China Sea. Isn't it easier to capture other pirates for merit? No. How could that evil dragon listen to me? Thinking of this, Colonel Mouse showed a hint of helplessness in his eyes. it seems simple to find a pirate as a black glove to kill the other pirates, and then collect the prize for yourself, but in practice it is quite difficult. At least two conditions need to be met at the same time. First, he needs a pirate group that can command cooperation. Second, the pirate group that cooperates must be very powerful. However, for Colonel Mouse, he can only meet one of the two conditions, but not both. At the same time, the pirate groups he can command are all pirate groups without bounties. And the most powerful of the pirate groups he cooperated with, the Dragon Pirates, didn't listen to him at all. To be more precise, he listened to the Dragon Pirates. Therefore, there is no way he can imitate Link. What's more important is that he still has no way to report Link. Because the reason given by Link was also very sufficient. On the way to pursue the Straw Hat Boys, he accidentally encountered the other pirate groups who were defeated by the Straw Hat Boys. Out of humanitarian ideas, he could never leave these defeated pirate groups alone. Ever since these defeated pirate groups were brought back to the Navy branch, Colonel Mouse really had nothing to do with Link's reason, and said that it was simply impeccable. Because the original Lieutenant General Garp was also on the way to hunt down the Pirate King Roger. He picked up many pirates and earned a lot of credit. The most famous one was that he teamed up with Roger to kill the Rock's pirates. If he dares to question Link's complicity with pirates and his impure nature, that would be equivalent to questioning the naval hero Garp. Isn't this just asking for trouble? God knows how many people in the Navy admire Garp, and how many Navy people are Garp's disciples. If these guys heard that he dared to question Garp, he would probably be trained by them every day in the name of muscle building. In addition to jealousy, Colonel Mouse was also a little afraid. He had been operating in the East China Sea for a long time and had some power. With the help of these forces, Colonel Mouse learned that Link seemed to have set his sights on him and sent people to investigate him privately. That damn Link actually wanted to turn himself into his own achievement. Damn Link. Fortunately there are not many big pirates in the East China Sea now. Even if that group of pirates killed all the other pirate groups, there is no way to help him get promoted to Brigadier General. Otherwise, when that guy is promoted to Brigadier General, he will openly investigate me, and that's it. Thinking of this, Colonel Mouse smiled. The East China Sea has always been known as the weakest sea, and there are not many pirates, now, except for the Dragon Pirates. All the pirates with bounties of more than 10 million berries have basically been cleaned up by the Straw Hat Boys. The remaining few rotten fish and shrimps with only a few million berries, even if they are killed, Link can't be promoted to Brigadier General with his current achievements. As for killing the Dragon Pirates, don't be ridiculous. How can those guys be the opponent of the Dragon? By the way, it seems that there is an undercover agent of the Dragon Pirates in the Straw Hat Boys group. Colonel Mouse suddenly remembered a piece of information he had seen before, and his wretched eyes lit up. Since Link wants to take action against him, don't blame him for being rude. Give the Dragon some money later, and let the undercover agent ask Link out and kill him directly, so that I don't have to worry every day. Chapter 20 Smoker Attacks. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Roger Town, Navy Branch. This is a town known as the beginning and the end, and it is also the only way for the East China Sea to enter the Grand Line. In order to prevent the pirates of the East China Sea from going to the Grand Line, the Navy stationed here is also the most famous and most powerful white hunter smoker in the entire East China Sea. Although it is still doubtful whether this obstacle is effective, it does not prevent the white hunter from patrolling the streets and making his own contribution to the haze in Roger Town. However, just as he was about to set off, the Den Den Mushi of the Roger Town Navy branch suddenly rang. Ding ding ding. Seeing the display of the Den Den Mushi, Smoker's face turned black, but after hesitating for a moment, he answered the phone. I am Smoker. Colonel Smoker, I need your help. Link on the other end of the Den Den Mushi said straight to the point. Is there any trouble? Trouble cooperating with pirates? Recently, Link has been a well-known existence in the entire East China Sea Navy circle. On the one hand, he did capture a large number of pirate groups that committed crimes, and made an indelible contribution to the peace of the East China Sea. On the other hand, these merits were obtained by relying on pirates, which seemed very shameful. The mixture of these two contradictory emotions made Smoker's attitude towards Link very complicated, but no matter what, Link is a Navy, and he took the initiative to seek his help. Therefore, Smoker still planned to give him a chance to Explain, so he asked, Colonel Link, what trouble have you encountered? Link took a breath, and then said, Colonel Smoker, I was targeted by a pirate group, and they wanted to kill me. Link was targeted by a pirate group. Hearing this news, Smoker's eyelids jumped, and he couldn't help but be a little surprised. You know, pirates and the Navy seem to be incompatible, but in fact they have a certain tacit understanding. Normally, pirates should not take the initiative to attack the Navy, so as not to cause trouble. It is usually the Navy that goes to trouble the pirates. Is there really such an arrogant pirate group in the East China Sea that dares to attack the Navy? Colonel Link, do you know which pirate group wants to kill you? Smoker asked. Admittedly, he doesn't have a particularly good impression of Link, a Navy who relies on pirates to catch pirates in order to get promoted, but Link is a member of the Navy after all. A small pirate dared to bully their Navy. If it is true, he must join them. It is a group of pirates hovering in Cocoa West Village, called the Dragon Pirates. According to my informant, this pirate group rules almost 20 villages around. Everyone in the village must pay for their lives if they want to live. 100,000 per month for adults and 50,000 for children. Hearing Link's words, Smoker's expression quickly changed, first puzzled, then angry. Really? But why did I hear that Colonel Mouse often went there to fight crime, and never heard that the Dragon Pirates ruled 20 villages? Smoker's face was as cold as ice. If someone who knew Smoker was present at this moment, they would know that he was in a state of extreme anger at this moment. The transportation in the pirate world is blocked, and there are considerable risks in traveling. Even the Four Emperors' red hair came to the East China Sea, and was bitten off an arm by the legendary King of the Sea. It is precisely because of these reasons that Smoker has been staying in Rogue Town since he was demoted and rarely goes out. Although he has heard about the Dragon Pirates, it is completely different from what Link said now. If Link is not lying, it means that Colonel Mouse is not clean. If Colonel Smoker doesn't believe it, you can go to Cocoa West Village with me to find out. Link said fearlessly. Anyway, every word of the information he said is true, and he is not afraid of Smoker Cha at all. But I still need to guard Rogue Town to prevent those pirates from entering the Grand Line. There is no way to leave. Smoker looked tangled. Smoker, what if I tell you that this group of pirates is actually related to the fishmen of the New World? Link's voice was a bit solemn. The captain of the Dragon Pirates, Dragon, was once the right-hand man of the fishman hero Fisher Tiger. Even when he faced Kizaru, who was still a vice-admiral at the time, he only lost. This guy is unfathomable, and at least has the strength of a brigadier general. If Colonel Smoker is unwilling to help, then I'm dead. Are you willing to watch a good Navy die in vain? Link's words stunned Smoker. Since Link became famous in the Navy, Smoker has seen his every move. Admittedly, Link's strength may be a little lower, and it is likely that he is not as good as him and Dragon of the Dragon Pirates, otherwise he would not come to him for help, but there is no doubt that he is indeed a sailor with high moral character. After the town was invaded by pirates, he would leave the pirates' treasures to the townspeople. To help them rebuild, he even left his phone number to the pirates so that they could contact him at any time. It would be too sad if such a good sailor died in the hands of pirates. I understand. Smoker took a big puff of his cigar and said hatefully, the Dragon Pirates dared to be so arrogant and wanted to attack our Navy. Don't worry, Colonel Link, I will go over to meet you later. After that, he immediately hung up the phone and prepared to go to Cocoa West Village with Link. Anyway, the powerful pirate groups in the East China Sea have been destroyed by Link's black gloves and straw hats. The remaining pirate groups, except for the Dragon Pirates, are all a bunch of rotten fish and shrimps. Even if they go to the Grand Line, they will be wiped out. There is no need for him to do it himself. Tsuki, Smoker suddenly shouted to the outside. I'm here. The next moment, a female navy wearing glasses and a famous sword on her waist immediately appeared in front of Smoker. Colonel Link is in danger and needs our help. Come with me now, Smoker said to Tsuki while carrying his sea-stone weapon. The female sergeant in front of him is a good seedling he found after coming to the East China Sea. She is quite strong, but she has seen blood less often and does not have enough combat experience. This time, it is a very good opportunity to train to destroy the Dragon Pirates. Smoker wanted to take her to see the world. Is Colonel Link in danger? Hearing Smoker's words, Toshiki touched her glasses with her fingers, and her fair face became a little solemn. Unlike Smoker's complicated feelings towards Link, Toshiki really likes Link. In her opinion, a navy that can think about the people is a good navy, and Link undoubtedly meets this condition. In order to save Link as soon as possible, they must attack immediately.